Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So as the title of the video says, we have a three-man Go Second team. Absolutely incredible. So this team, we're going to jump straight into the arena. This team is a combination of a lot of different ideas. We have Soda Dragon and all of his love towards Gaius. We have Authentic and Rats showing some Stone Skin Yoshi build teams. This is kind of a combination of all that kind of stuff, and it works very, very well. This team has been doing very consistent, very good win rates overall in the arena for me. Granted, I don't actually use three people. I go ahead and throw a fourth in there. I'm going to talk about that. And I think a lot of you are going to like this. The gear requirements are not that high whatsoever. I'm not a huge Hydra fan, okay? I don't do a ton of Hydra. It gives me a headache, makes me frustrated. And a lot of times it doesn't feel worth it. I almost have Mithrala finally. I do want to start to like Hydra, but either way, that doesn't matter. The main thing I want to mention is that my Hydra gear isn't amazing. So when I back out of this, I'm going to show you guys what my Hydra gear is. I literally only do normal and hard. So my Hydra gear isn't tons of different options. So when we look at the gear, a lot of you are going to be able to use this gear on the champions and make it work perfectly fine. Now, the nice thing is these champions are very, very slow. You're going to be very surprised, I think, whenever you see how slow these champions actually are. Now, before we get too far in it, I do want to mention that this team is very weak against two things, okay? It's weak against strip champions. So your Sathalias, your Kaimars, your Lady Kimmies, your Madame Saris, your Rhian the Conjurer. Those teams are probably going to mess you up, assuming they're faster than you, and they're probably going to be faster than you. Also, lockout champions, Warlord and Basher, both champions who make this team very much difficult to use. You just don't use against those teams because you will lose, okay, without a doubt. Now, this Brachus may do some work. Actually, nope, Rhian the Conjurer reses, and Brachus kills himself. I love to see it. So this team, weak against those two teams, but strong against Hedgy Tormin, strong against fast nuke teams with no strip champion, strong against slow teams that may be on the more resistant side. Since you do have Yoshi given that increased accuracy, you may be able to apply your debuffs more frequently. Now, granted, with Stone Skin, your accuracy is going to be a bit more limited, most likely. But if you can get enough accuracy to actually apply through or strip their champions, whatever it may be, at least kill their damage dealers, then you're going to be in a pretty good spot, right? Now, after this match, I want to go ahead. This is an interesting situation right here, okay? So my goal is to have Rhian and Gaius go right next to each other as far as turn order, but unfortunately, you can see that Siphi actually cut in. So if you are not really close in speed, which let me show you guys how close I actually am in speed, but if you're not super close in speed, you're going to be in a bad situation because what's going to happen is people are going to place block debuffs, and you're not going to be able to apply your bombs, which is literally the one win condition. You're also going to be very careful about cleanse champions. Cleansers can definitely mess your team up as well. Cleansers are people who cut in. But check this out. Gaius is, I'm pretty sure, 172. And, okay, so we got about 10 speed difference. I need to close that gap a little bit. But if you want to get, you know, really fancy with it and you want to throw in a fourth champion, we'll go ahead and throw in Basher, okay? Basher is a very, very good champion for this team because he synergizes very well with the increased accuracy, works perfectly with this entire team. So here, Basher is going to go actually before Rhian the Conjurer, which it doesn't really matter what order he goes in, as long as he's going before Gaius, preferably. But honestly, it may be best if he does go before Rhian, so when Rhian strips, nothing gets reapplied. So this works very well. But he's going to place the A2. Just make sure he goes right after Yoshi, because Yoshi's going to give him that increased accuracy, giving him a higher chance to actually apply those debuffs, which you got to be very careful about because Stone Skin gearing for accuracy may be difficult, especially when you're having to spread it across 3 different champions. But it's only 4 pieces of Stone Skin. So in reality, it's not that difficult because you can still use your perception gear, the whole 9 yards, which I'll go over the gearing in just a minute. Let's go ahead and finish this match. Rhian also brings a res, which is really nice. Like we've seen earlier, res Gaius, he comes back, he can place a bomb. Very, very nice. So let's go ahead and try to kill the Siphi with the bombs. Okay, the bombs wipe her out. Bombs do so much damage, it's insane. But you need that increased attack from Yoshi. So there's a few different substitutions you can use. The main things I'm wanting is increased accuracy, increased attack. Those are very, very important debuffs. We got the weaken from Rhian. Absolutely amazing. That's the only thing that actually boosts the damage done from bombs. So if you can get those debuffs, increased attack, increased accuracy, you're going to be in a good spot. You can bring other champions, no problem whatsoever. You can swap out Basher for somebody else. Basher's just there to make it even more consistent, but the team has the core 3 people's function. Honestly, you could even whittle it down to Gaius and Rhian. As far as the leader, you can use any leader. You can use Gaius for the increased attack. You can use Rhian for the increased accuracy. You could use Yoshi for the increase of speed if you want it. But either way, let's jump back here, talk about the gearing of the champions. This is going to be the main thing. if you can actually use this team or not, right? Like if you don't have the gear, you're not going to be able to use the team whatsoever, even if you have the champions. But the gearing is very, very, I guess, free. Like you don't really have to have anything specific. So Yoshi, I just want him to go first, okay? I want him to be the fastest. He needs Stone Skin. Only have one set, so one 4-piece set. You can either go 4 or 6. 4 gives you the 1 turn of buff. 2 turns isn't really needed, but if you got it, go ahead and go for it. So Yoshi, we got some accuracy on him just so we have a chance of placing that fear, even though the fear is not really what his main goal is, especially if you're going second. You got the idea that they're probably going to have block debuffs anyways, so not a huge deal as far as that goes, but if you can apply it, great. Now, as far as Yoshi's Masteries, this is just a pretty basic Mastery setup. I don't even know if he really needs the Masteries, honestly, because he's just placing the increased accuracy, increased attack, and then he's good to go. Now, as far as his books go, you really don't have to book him. I mean, I do have him booked here, like I said, once again, for that True Fear if it does land, but it's not even a huge deal. If you want to book him, if you love using him, go ahead, but they're really not even needed. Now, his artifacts, look at it one more time, not even leveled up, so it's really just random pieces of Stone Skin gear. He has crit rate gloves, okay? Crit rate gloves on the Yoshi. Most of the stuff's not even leveled up, and it's working perfectly fine. He gets that one turn to go, and he's doing really good. Okay, now let's go next champion, Rhian the Conjurer. So Rhian is going to be a little bit more specific. So let's talk about our Masteries first. You want to make sure to pick up as much accuracy as you can, because if Rhian doesn't strip or doesn't apply the weaken, Gaius is going to have a harder time nuking. So you want to make sure your Rhian the Conjurer is geared with at least a good enough amount of accuracy to make it make sense whenever Yoshi boosts. So Yoshi's going to give Rhian a 50% increase. So my Rhian's essentially functioning with about 750 accuracy right now, which should strip most people, right? As long as I'm not going against like Lydia leads with crazy high resists like Mithralas and stuff, I should strip most people, to be honest. So as far as Rhian goes, Rhian has some of our better gear. We have the HP gloves, accuracy chestplate, perception set as well, extra accuracy on there. So this is going to be one of the more gear demanding champions, second to Gaius. Gaius is probably the most gear demanding, but even his isn't anything crazy. So that's everything for Rhian. The strip, you will want this booked. You do want to go ahead and book the strip out because you want to make sure you have the chance to place the weaken and the chance to actually strip the debuffs. Rhian is a great champion, actually better than Madame Saris for this, because while Madame does decrease defense and decrease attack, which is great for most champions, it doesn't affect bombs whatsoever. So weaken definitely wins out. Now, next champion, we have Gaius. So obviously you want Rhian to go after Yoshi and before Gaius, just speed tune it somewhere around there. Rhian is at 181 speed, so that's pretty daggone slow, but check out Gaius sitting down at 172. So with Gaius, I'm not worried about crit rate. I'm not worried about crit damage. If I had enough gear to actually do it, I'd go for it, but I don't. So I'm not even going to touch it. Now, I am worried about his accuracy, okay? Honestly, I'd rather his accuracy be up there closer with Rhian's accuracy, closer to that 500 range, but you have to be very careful because if you apply the bombs, but they're weak, you're not going to kill them. If you have a lot of attack and you hit hard, but you don't apply the bombs, you're not going to kill them. So you got to make it a fine balance between I need more attack and I need more accuracy, okay? So pushing that close to 400 accuracy range will give me about 600 accuracy after Yoshi does his buff, putting me at about enough accuracy to should be able to apply to most teams that aren't running very high resistance. So looking at his gear, we have the reaction stuff mostly just because it made sense. We don't really need it. If somehow we got the Stone Skin stripped from us, the reaction would help. But to be honest, I don't need the reaction stuff. I just have it on there. Just so happen to be nice. So we have attack percent gloves. We have attack percent chestplate, perception set to give that extra accuracy. We have accuracy coming from the banner as well. Flat attack necklace, and then ring is a flat HP ring. I'd probably prefer flat attack, but hey, we got a complete reaction set. It looks nice, so we're gonna leave it where it is, and it's working perfectly fine. So Gaius is one that you definitely want to make sure you hit the stat requirements for, but he doesn't really need to be super fast. Just make sure he's fast enough to be not cut in on, preferably from your Rhian and or your Basher. If you have Basher or Warlord, you don't got to worry about it as much though. So looking at his skills, he does need to be booked. His A2 especially needs them. And if you can get it on his A3 and his A1, possibly not even bad. He's definitely a great champion, but definitely book his A2 ability. Now, as far as his masteries, we picked up extra attack. We really just want to increase the bomb damage. Nothing down here is increasing the bomb damage. So you'll see that I have Eagle Eye Mastery over there on the right side. Eagle Eye, absolutely incredible, works perfect. More accuracy to actually apply those bomb debuffs. Now, last but not least, we have Basher. Basher is very similarly geared to Rhian, basically speed tuned somewhere between Rhian and Yoshi. either right before him or right after Rhian, just before. Make sure you're before Gaius for sure. So Basher just has good accuracy and good speed. It's really all that matters. As long as you have stone skin gear, you're not going to die. You're very, very unlikely to die by just raw damage, especially if they don't have decreased defense or they're not stripping you, which they can't. You're very unlikely to die. So we have crit rate gloves on him again, accuracy chest plate, speed boots, accuracy banner. I'm sure we have some more accuracy on the amulet, and then the ring, just HP ring, nothing special there. But this team has been doing a lot of good for me. If you're looking for a very consistent, very fun team for 3v3, great one. If you're tired of losing the speed races in arena, this is a very solid team. You just gotta be mindful about the strip champions, the cleanse champions, and champions like that. You may run into some issues. This team is a little bit higher on the resist side. We have 380,000 player power along with 100 resistance from Lydia. So this one could be a little bit shaky, a little bit sketchy, but as long as we kill everybody, except for Cardiel, it should be perfectly fine. He's not gonna res. So everybody's locked out from the cooldowns, perfect. And then Gaius goes ahead and hopefully applies bomb to everyone. He did not. He missed it on the Cardiel, which luckily Basher locked him out of his skills. So Cardiel's not gonna cleanse, but this is still not a good situation. So this team is more tanky. We don't have very much sustained damage on this team, unfortunately. So it's kind of just, hey, we bomb them the first turn. We hope we win. If not, it's a little bit, like I said, shaky situation, a little bit sketchy. But if you bomb them the first time, it's a great team, okay? So you can go against some tanky teams. You just got to be careful and be mindful. This team can't do it because there's a Gurgo. They'll probably just strip everybody. But if you really want to get a little bit, testing of the stuff, you could jump in here and try it out. Because, I mean, there's a 50% chance he's not going to strip it. So maybe he doesn't. He didn't even use the ability. So now we're perfectly fine. We apply the True Fear on everybody, and then Basher comes in, or Rhian comes in. Basher comes in to lock them all out, and then Gaius applies the bombs, and they all die. That's really all the team is, guys. That's all the team comes down to. Very easy team to build. If you've done any Hydra whatsoever, you should have this gear, to be honest. Like, my Hydra gear, like I mentioned, like I've shown, is not anything that fancy. Now, granted, this level of arena is a little bit difficult to test out because there's not a lot of teams that are like super high up. I'm in gold 5, but I'd have to be like in plat to really test this stuff out. But blenders, no problem, okay? Stone skin, you're gonna be perfectly fine. Watch the bar of the stone skin. It's probably not even get touched. So once they actually, they're not gonna do anything anyways, never mind. Lock them all out. Gaius will probably just kill them from using that A2, not even the bombs. So use the A2, the bombs, all applied, sweet. They're already dead. The bombs didn't even go off. So some of these teams are a little more difficult to compare it against, but in general, I've been enjoying this team. Figured I'd share it with you guys as well. Maybe you guys can like it. Maybe you guys can try it out. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know any of your other Gaius teams that you've been using. Thank you all very much for watching the video, and I hope you all enjoyed. Click one of the videos that are about to pop up, and I'll catch you in the next one.